Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's stream. Stories The Path of Destinies was just made free for everyone to try, or I'm sorry, to buy, in light of their next game, Omenstream, coming out soon. So since we didn't have anything else planned for the evening, I figured let's give it a look. If you're watching this live right now, I'll have my first look video of Omenstream probably within the next day or so. But if this is anything like that, this should be a reasonably entertaining game. But this is my first time playing it, so let's jump into it. One second, just want to make sure everything looks good here.
Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed.
That was quick.
"Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round up entire villages.
This game really likes to make some disturbing animals.
Ever
or these developers.
The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians.
Nice.
The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him.
Okay then. Well, let's see what that's going to involve. Hopefully the game won't take too long to load, but we shall see. Go, game, go. These loading times are a little bit more improved on Omenstream while I'm playing on the PS4. Let's hope it's just one long load, and then we're good once we get in. Well, that was a good sign.
The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him.
Alright, let's see. How are the controls?
The two Ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. "Hey," Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him.
Hello.
"Someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The Ravens called and rushed at him.
Uh-oh. Alright. Alright, I'm supposed to attack. That. Alright, so attack and defense are tied both at the same button. Has a pretty good flow to it from what I'm seeing so far. Not as fast as Omenstream.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they had.
Well, I just finished playing Omenstream, which is their sequel, so I have a little bit of practice at how their combat works. Okay. Goodbye. Get out of there. Goodbye. Don't you love games where you just like throw bad guys off the edges?
Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it, and the kid was on the other side of the gate.
Of course.
Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero's sword. And with that, the
Guess
kid
what's more badass than a fox is a fox with an eye
handed it to the
patch.
kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renata going to get a hero sword?
Could it be right here?
Ore and wind essence? That sounds about right. Perfect.
Alright, what do we have here? Looks badass.
A hero sword. QED.
Alright. There we go. No heavy attacks yet.
Settling down and finding people to care about. The kids
Yeah,
wanted
definitely a
swell
different story from what I've
laughed
seen.
at Renato's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid.
Well, so far,
But she never
ravens
told
are
him where the
killing
book was.
people.
Just the kid.
I just threw giant crows off a bridge. And now we're kind of trying to find this kid who has a mystical book.
He came up to a ledge.
Uh-oh.
It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find a hook? I hopped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you! Cute, said Renato.
Uh-oh.
Ah, ravens.
These developers really like these animal stories here. Alright, so let's see. Combat so far is one button.
Into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down.
How are you
Thing
doing that?
was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. He'd done it. Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Sounds like a plan. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that is true. Alright, what do we got here? So let's see. Form, perfect strikes, dashes, slow down time, counter, run faster.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to
cool,
freeze
you can pull
time when
enemies.
attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Just like Omenstream, the game so far has a really
There
like
was
nice
the father.
feel to it in terms of controls.
She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the
Which
kick
is such a
around
far
12
cry from some of the
furlongs.
games I've been
So
playing.
the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush.
Uh-oh.
Stop! He shouted. I'm not giving you the book! Shouted the kid, and took off. No! Peter! But the kid ran for it,
Oh.
and a goggler nailed him with its eye.
Ow. Oh, he's dead. How are we dealing with this? There we go.
The book was unburned.
Ooh.
Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a
Jeez.
kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really
No, they don't.
pissed off and betrayed, but alive.
Well, we've already had
Damn it.
villages
Renato
being
picked
burned
up
and child murder so far in this game.
Couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway.
Anything in here? Goodbye, random child. Any loot? No.
What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. Where are you running, rebel? Cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. Just going out for milk? Renato yelled back. Where can you run? Laughed the Raven.
Oh, narrator sounds like he's having fun.
Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life! It cawed. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes.
It's a very dark
game.
game.
Was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game changer. Maybe he could.
Alright, let's see what we got here.
Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lupino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato
I think we have a choice coming up, folks.
Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lupino or the Sky Ripper.
Alright, folks, we got a choice to make here. I don't know, I like the idea of building a legendary weapon. What about you guys? Yeah, weapon cool, exactly.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper.
Alright, let's see what
The
happens.
Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods.
It's like
And
the
he
animal version of Darkest
somehow
Dungeon over
summoned
here.
the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth. It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it.
I don't think we're bringing that kid back to life, folks. I think he's dead. Now let's see how long. I think the loading times in between these levels may be a little bit long, at least on my computer. The furriest dungeon. Nice. Huh? Wait, it's not too bad.
As he
Alright,
set
not
foot
bad.
on the island, Renato could not help but feel a tinge.
I think you
of
just
guilt.
create something very disturbing,
He
though,
left
Alberto.
Lupino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had,
I don't think we can.
why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out.
Alright.
The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Great, folks. He killed Lupino. I hope you're happy. Okay. Things are getting very disturbing in chat tonight. Alright. mysterious cave. Okay. That looks like it's the right way. But as we know, I like to go the wrong way first. Any treasures around here? There they are. Let's see.
This chest made music when you opened it. Too bad it was Muzak.
I don't know, that smooth jazz in Shantae, I think that was the most relaxing item or shop music we ever heard. I see another forge here. Let's see. This is the gem socket system. Okay. You're calling us 3 sockets. Yeah. Each gem has 3 levels. Aw. Can't do anything yet there. Can we upgrade our sword? We're at the looks badass level. Okay, so we need fire essence. So it looks like we get different sword types. Nice. That is the best way to learn. Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh. Not these rabbit killers. This game, the developers in Omenstream, they also show like the animals getting sliced in half too. This is a very disturbing game. Alright, so we need the swords to unlock the doors here. Turn around.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could...
And for those of you watching this live right now, or even recorded, the game is currently free if you missed the announcement on Steam. This one, not Omenstream. That's the new one that's coming out.
The only merciful war was a short one.
Let's see, can I unlock anything else? No. Don't you love doors that require swords to open them? Just kind of cuts out the middleman needing a key.
Hero wall. Hero sword. Ice wall. Ice. Human.
There you go. I knew there was going to be a fight coming up. Get off me. Nice. I love that backward slice. Oh, no. This combat reminds me of a game, but I can't remember it. Was it Mark of Cree? I remember another game that had that kind of... Maybe it was the Arkham series as well. That ability, like that flow of being able to attack and basically directly counter and oppose enemies. No, it wasn't Bastion. Oh, that's another way of cutting out too. You're right there, Forn. Have a key as a blade, and that kind of defeats the need for either one. Alright, I can't go that way yet. What's this? Could've been Hand of Fate too. But I do, I said this in my Omenstream video, I like when the combat is that reactive. It has a really good feel to it. Okay, we can't go that way. Maybe one of these days we should stream the Batman games, because I really love them. I never did play Arkham City. More of these deadly death beholders.
Ha! Bet you never saw that coming.
Well, that's the problem when you're just a floating eyeball. You only have very limited peripheral vision. I played up to Origins. I never did play Arkham Knight. See, this is my kind of stealth. Just kill everybody and then who can detect you?
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
Wait, can I just throw this guy off the edge? Get out of my face. See, Batman doesn't throw people off the edge. He just bashes their head in and it doesn't kill them. Two switches, eh?
Renato's blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
The Mr. Freeze fight was one of my favorites. Alright. What do you do? Alright, so that just moves that. I'm trying to see if there's another way to go. That would be impressive.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough.
Because we really haven't seen a good Batman game. I'm sorry, not a good Batman game, a good Superman game. Yeah, some bugs too. Yay, treasure. Oh wait, we leveled up. Oh. I guess we gotta go from left to right here. But now we can run.
To come back to him. Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Dashing.
There it was. Sky Ripper's armature.
Unfortunately, Origins did bug out for me. There was a Riddler tower that was impossible to complete.
No one alive had the
They fixed it, like, I think a few weeks or a month or so later, but by then it was a little too late.
He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, I think we should still keep going down this weapon path. What do you guys think? Alright.
It was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature.
That is a very disturbing image right there.
Only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices. And he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the
Oh, there's some foreshadowing for you folks.
Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core.
Jeez. Child murders, people getting eaten, cities being burned. Anything else going to happen in this game? There's got to be a twist coming up. I'm sure we're going to be able to either go back or look at other choices.
Doubt sunk in before he was even out of sight of the Farfarer. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? It was the sort of path he'd always avoided. The path of responsibility, of seriousness. Had he grown up? He didn't feel grown up. He'd made this decision from his gut, like he always did. Somehow, he'd impulsively decided to stop being impulsive. Did that make any sense?
Hey, treasure.
Bridges, anyway.
That means I can craft some new swords. New Bioshock, eh? What do we have here? Magical well. I'll take that. Oop. Bioshock Infinite wasn't bad, but it just felt a little, like, overrated, I think. I don't think I ever finished Bioshock 2, though. There's some more ominousness. I don't know if I just invented a word there.
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Finado.
Maybe some kind of sword. So, for all I know about these developers, that they really like treasure chests and animal murder.
Sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Alright. Got a lot of stuff to craft. Any more ravens for me to knock off of platforms? I think he's probably been eaten by now. There, that's what we want to do. Oh, now I remember the game this reminds you of, this kind of combat system from like Prince of Persia. Or Batman as well. That kind of active combat. No, you don't. There, that's what we want to do.
There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked.
Oh, that's good.
He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice and rabbits.
Attack immediately if hits only a perfect strike.
Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be.
We'll go for a perfect strike.
He missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a reunion.
Alright, we need to find a forge so I can unlock some new abilities. Get over here. Oh, yo. Yo. not too bad. I hope they introduce a little bit more enemy variety, though. Looks like our core.
The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark arts, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature.
No, I don't.
Began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends.
Thanks a lot,
for this war
folks.
apparatus. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, of course. If you've just assembled a weapon out of legend that can exile gods from the world, you'd want to have a scientist.
I don't seem to blow up on my arm.
And even if they disagreed and he had time, he could ask Calaveras himself. Yes, the observatory would be his objective.
Did we put this thing together right, or is it just going to blow up and kill us all? And when can I craft some more of these swords, too? That's not a good sign.
Why had the parts of the Sky Ripper only surfaced now? Thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had dismantled it. The mad Emperor Isengrim had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Was that why these ancient artifacts were rising out of the ground? How perfect, then, that the Sky Ripper would reappear to be his destruction.
Let's see what we got here. Them. Oh, sorry, knock them off the edge.
Bernardo had learned so much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
Yeah, it probably dooms us all at the rate this game is going. I want to take the run ability.
Every day he was getting better and better.
There we go. Get some movement speed going. Ah, there we go. I thought there was not gonna be any enemies there. Hey, busy throwing your friend off the ledge here. I'm Batman. Just casually rip that guy in half. No
A
biggie.
legendary weapon was exactly what the rebellion needed. They were outnumbered. The once kind emperor had become a tyrant. But his ravens stayed loyal, for he fed them his victims, and the other animals were too frightened to rebel. Renato shuddered at what the emperor was trying to do. To bring back the lost gods.
I saw
the
part of it, but not the
Harvest,
whole movie.
The Black Sun? No. He would stop that toad, no matter what the risk.
Oh wait, there's
Take
treasure.
a leap of faith, said the inscription.
Oh, we missed the treasure. Can we go back? How's there fruit in giant crystals?
The Nexus Observatory had the Empire's most renowned scientists, working by themselves without interference. At least, so far.
Alright, let's see what we can craft. Can't do that. Can't do that. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna upgrade the sword.
His trusty old sword was always a little better when he sharpened it.
Swords consume energy. Alright, so that's fully ranked. There we go. Green glowing sword. Ooh. Wait for it. Not too bad.
He wished there were more pylons he could use the hook on.
Oh, jeez.
They really needed to construct additional pylons.
Super sword activated. Uh-oh, he's on fire.
Leonardo hated warriors. The way they stayed back and loved pain and death from a distance. Cowards. Really dangerous, effective cowards.
Uh-oh. Aha. Damn teleporting lizards. I need more pylons, apparently. You never know, there could be useful stuff in those things I'm just smashing. Really great aesthetic. And that's also carried through an Omen site as well. Good, more stuff to break.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
See? The game agrees with me.
Renato was thrilled. The scientists seemed to think he'd put the Sky Ripper together right. But one toad was worried.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Sky Ripper could tear a hole in existence itself. There are invisible strings that tie the universe together. If Sky Ripper cut one, the hole would widen and widen till our whole existence fell into it.
Another toad sighed. Irving still believes in string theory.
At least go see Calaveras.
Yeah, said the worried toad.
He knows more than anyone else has forgotten about the Transcendent Emperor.
If anyone could tell him how to use this weapon safely, it would be Calaveras. It was he who had told Renato how to find it in the first place. But maybe he had to give up on using it as a weapon. Maybe he had to go to the secret rebel base and ask the generals there what he could do with a weapon that he dared not use.
That's what I'm thinking.
Renato was about to leave when he was stopped by one of the scientist toads.
There is something else you should know. There are rumors the Ravens are searching for an ancient artifact.
It's got to do a random voice for each character.
There are legends of something called the Iblis Stone, a gem of great and evil power.
Where is this island? Asked Renato.
Yeah, sort of that way?
Said the toad, pointing vaguely west. The fleet was already there. There was nothing Renato could do about it. For the moment.
No, I don't think I've played the Hellboy
games. To
games.
consult Calaveras again. The scientists at the observatory were smart enough. But what did they know of the Transcendent Emperor? He hoped it wouldn't delay him too long. The rebels had scheduled the final battle soon. Every day they delayed risked the exposure of the secret base. And some soldiers were already drifting back to their homes and families. Calaveras would fix the Sky Ripper for him. And then he would win the final battle.
Alright. Sounds like we're coming to the end of the story, and I think that's when the twist will happen.
But after a few steps, Renado's optimism started to slump. What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Renado dare use the Sky Ripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies, even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies. Some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay, it wasn't all that much simpler, no. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least he was sure of.
Yeah. Goodbye.
That had gone rather well, actually.
Any treasure over here? Goodbye, wizard. Let me just drop him in the hole from there. Oh, I missed the combo. Curses.
For a moment, and I wished that somebody had been watching.
Alright, that's gotta be the right way then. And away we go. I still can't go to any of these doors yet.
He needed some way to break the ice with this wall, so to speak.
Let's see what's down here. Uh-oh. Maybe the only complaint about the combat that I have is that it is a little simplistic. Again, it's only one button. But it's got a good feel of motion to it. I just got an achievement, spin to win. Man, these developers really have thought of everything, haven't they?
Have you ever felt you were just going round in circles? Bernardo felt like that.
Is he dead yet? Didn't I even see him? That orb was blocking.
He tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from?
This is getting this gets more and more disturbing.
Somewhere? Did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calaveras would help. He would make Renado feel better about using the Sky Ripper. And then Renado wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again.
Yeah, because we'll kill them all. Commit Crow aside.
This was a roundabout way of getting there.
Oh, nice. Why do we need a fire sword for that? We don't need a jump. Oh.
safer. That was new. Most people still use doorknobs.
There we go.
The rebels were counting on Renato. He hoped Calaveras knew what he was doing.
We're probably dooming everybody if the story's any indication. I'm surprised I haven't ran into any, like, boss battles yet. There you go, now we can run super fast.
Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But when Renato explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh,
I was thinking of
strange
Hellboy. I know
you
there's a
say.
new Hellboy
Well,
movie
the
coming out.
Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in 128 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6. What are the odds of
Well,
that?
Milo, the whole thing will blow up.
No! It's more like 2.716s in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it won't happen if I use it just once.
Yeah, no, that's not right. Each time you use it... Okay, look, just don't use it ever.
All right, I guess.
Aww.
As he sailed away from the mountains, Renato could see clouds darkening.
So I can use the
Rain?
ultimate weapon now?
No. Ships. Imperial ships, swarming thick as bees. This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it did not go well? What if he had to use the sky?
Let's gamble the universe,
Could he
right?
gamble the universe? On the other hand, what were the odds of rolling 21 sixes in a row?
We all know I'm good with RNG. I heard about that too. So will we destroy the universe? I mean, what are the odds? Uh-oh. No
The
choice
battle
this
was
time.
not going spectacularly well. What had the rebels been thinking? They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblis Stone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in 128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. They'd get worse each time he used it, but the first time would be okay, right?
Sure.
He wasn't sure that it was right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case.
We're gonna blow up the universe, aren't we? We're all making very horrible choices in this game, it sounds like. At least we got a fire sword. I hope you're taking notes.
He wasn't that good. Yet.
Alright, give me some treasure. Treasure makes it all better. Power of friendship, right? Go fire sword. Uh-oh. On my way. Get away. Goodbye.
Renato was remembering all his old tricks. And some new ones. Now, he really ought to ask for a raise.
Or craft these other swords, it looks like. Well, that's comforting.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
Get off me. You're not so tough. Oh, ow. I need some fruit. There we go. Alright. So, what's the bet? Am I going to blow up the universe or not?
System fueled by anti-gravity and wishful thinking.
There you go. That's more like it.
Someone had told him the odds didn't change just because he'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though.
I'm busy reading chat. I'm getting firebombed by cannons.
On the other hand, 128 chances to win, but one of them, he'd destroy the universe. Ooh, that seemed a bit serious. Maybe he could defeat the Emperor without firing the Sky Ripper. Maybe he could bluff, but with a real weapon. Like in cards, when you had 3 knaves, but you pretended you had a fizzbin.
What's a fizzbin?
That could work.
You. Another fight, I bet, right here.
What do you guys dress up as for Halloween? Just wondering.
Yo, me. You. Don't crows fly though? Should at least be able to like get right back on the edge. Well, we kind of like gone down all the way down this path. There's not much more we can do other than use his weapon. Alright. That looks like a very big ship right there. Wait a minute, he's got a shield. That's not fair. Grab and throw another front into him. Okay. There we go. One more shield. Another one. Yeah, there's definitely a nice fluidity to the combat. Go. Oh.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up.
I got an achievement. It's like a small Death Star.
Came out.
That's good.
Flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. You won't actually use that, she said in that annoying, I know everything because I'm a cat and you know nothing because you're just a fox voice she had. Oh, I know the odds. Good. Because there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work. Didn't you pay attention in class? Now surrender, or I'll use it. Just once, he said. Don't. He felt sure the odds were with him.
Oh no.
You have to go with his gut. That's what heroes do. Fire, he said. Please? The Skyripper fired.
Oh no.
With a tremendous whoosh, the Emperor's flagship.
Well, we just blew up the universe, folks.
It was awesome. And then he noticed there was a hole in the air.
Crap.
A blackness, like a tear in a parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening.
I blame you guys.
It grew larger and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. Ah, 1 in 128. What are the odds?
1
Thought
in
Renato.
128.
And then everything fell into the hole and was gone.
Right.
Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Alright. Looks like there's a lot more than several. Alright, so looks like we need to learn 4 truths in order to get the real ending, it looks like. Let's see, how's this work? Okay, so it looks like whatever combination of choices we, choose determines what story we end. So I could do the armature, the core, the scientists, and then not me, Calaveras, will get a different story. And so on and so forth. So there's a lot of hard choices in this game. Apparently there's a total of 24 different stories. So these stories all in line with this truth. These stories in line with this and that. So it looks like to get looks like a rabbit truth, there's only 5 possible choices.
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning.
I'm
The
thinking
clouds parted
yes.
over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose.
I think that kid is dead. I don't think we're getting him
rebellion
back.
was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base.
So,
They needed a game changer.
Omenstream is kind of like
Surface.
Devil May Cry meets Columbo
Renato
because we're
knew
solving a
that
murder
using it could go
mystery.
catastrophically
This is basically
wrong.
Groundhog
He
Day.
was sure he could figure out how to use it
Apocalyptic
safely.
Groundhog
Also,
Day.
A temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Skyripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals.
Oh,
Could
looks like we have a
this be
new
where
choice
the
open.
Stone was hidden. Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the
Can I skip?
Ravens?
Alright, so we can see the stories we've done. We can see the choices we made. So because we completed that previous story, that unlocked this event. So that essentially, if we repeat some of our previous choices, there may be new events that pop up. Alright. Oh, I guess you want us to save Lapino here? Alright. I guess this time we'll try and use the power of friendship and see what happens. Excel, yeah.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time.
I'm saying
The
of
Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a
Bravely
rebel
Default or
spy.
Bravely
If the fleet
Historia?
reached him first, they'd string him up.
That
Never mind the
Nintendo
winged
DS
horse.
RPG that had to do with time travel as well. No, it wasn't Bravely Default. Radia Historica, I think that's what it was called. Alright.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it.
Season.
But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Alright, we'll save them.
Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things. He would be cursing a blue streak.
There's a lot of ravens down there. Yep, it looks like it.
People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Renato had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the ravens call about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice. Renato looked around the empty village and reflected. The Sky Ripper had turned out to be far too dangerous to be used. Time to turn to what he knew best.
Did you notice that red mark down there? I guess that must be an alteration to the story because we did a previous event or something like that. Not bad. So this path we couldn't have done previously because we wouldn't have had the fire sword by then. So let's see. That's a big old treasure chest. Ooh. Wait a minute.
Don't look down.
There you go.
He thought.
What could be in here? Oh. Okay. Don't tell me I have to fly across it again. Oh no, we're good.
Renato felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to
Alright, but
school for
because we found the truth, one of those truths, we unlocked the tier 2. I'm gonna get that just because I think that's gonna cut down on annoyance. Nice. This game is very violent, isn't it? Anything else we need around here? Okay, that's where we went down. So if you want to get 100% in stories, you're going to have to go down every story path, essentially. I could see the game getting a little repetitive, I think, that way. There's not a lot of meat to this gameplay. I wonder if that guy appears because we completed the story.
Can I borrow that?
Or was he going to be here if we came this path first? Don't you love that little flipping when you go from enemy to enemy?
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack, Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their
Nice.
prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Again, child murder, cannibalism, and killing the universe. This is a very family-friendly game. Alright, what can I unlock now? Give me a distance, target enemy.
Cool. Wish I could do that.
Wait. The narrator is his own guy here? Oh, my bad. Then just well, they are cannibals, so they're just not eating the same species. Wait. Yeah, you're right. This is not a conversation we should really be having, I think. Get off me. I need that dash ability so we can preserve the combo chain. Because that's what really matters. We don't care about saving the universe, we need to get a good ranking for combat. Oh good, a graveyard.
Renato felt a chill run down his back. Or possibly a flea.
Are we gonna deal with zombies now? No, can't go that way yet. He's fine. Yeah. That could be very interesting. Sort of like a more advanced version of Hand of Fate, almost. Did you ever play, what was it, Call of Jerez, the third one? That kind of dealt with, like, the unreliable narrator affecting the story.
Dirty
I would love to see
and
more
bloody,
games, like,
Renato finally
integrate
reached
that.
Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the
Gunslinger,
cards.
thank you.
Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The Ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Alright. Well. Let's go with the power of friendship option, I suppose, this time and see where it leads us. So this is a different path, even if we grab that core.
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renato's best friend in Sword Fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was. She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
I'm assuming Path 3 involves that Idris stone, but I don't know what Path 4 would be. Maybe something unlocks after we do the other two. Or the other one.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Let's see. We still have to unlock some more swords, though. Well, more dead animals, folks. It's a good thing PETA didn't find out about this game.
If only he had some way to break the ice, or convince it he was a friend.
On my way. Oh, more of these death lasers. Alright, we should have enough to craft the water sword now. Or the ice sword. Come on.
Anyone ever tell you you have a lovely eye? No?
There we go. Could have just done it the sneaky way, but where's the fun in that? Who's that?
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous
It's a really good
watermelon.
plan.
What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato.
I say we go for it. What do you guys think? So if we didn't bring Lupino, I assume we only have this option. Yeah, I say we go for it.
Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Oh no.
Hey! Hey, a workbench!
Alright, now we can apply this
Try
gem
this
that
new
we got.
blade.
Should be able to craft a sword, right? No. 7 away. It's probably more important to get all the swords first than it is to upgrade them. Oh, hello. Slashy, slashy. Oh, nice. He actually knocked the shield off there. Oop.
I'm sorry. Was that your shield?
It's starting a lot more interesting than the... What was the other game we played with the narrator? They was kind of putting us all to sleep while I was talking. Oh look, there's a giant watermelon.
Dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly
Oh, we're not
wrong.
going to be able to
But
participate?
against all odds, Lupino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat.
Oh, who will thunk it?
Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you. You never return my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Lupino. But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye, without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted
Either.
daughter. Ah, Lupino was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the
That's all right.
Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lupino. You have to catch her.
Oh no. Alright, doesn't look like we have a choice here. I'm assuming this game goes for like a 5-chapter structure, and then we repeat.
Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. Think of all the artisans he was creating employment for. Truly, he was a job creator.
See, the narrator gets me. Alright, there's gotta be some goodies around here. Alright, let's see. Any goodies over here? See what we got. Fight. There we go. There's some more Raven murder here. Out my way. Go. Oh, Resident Evil 2. They were making a it's about time, right? Oh yeah, the Tower of Deadly Monster. That was another really good narrator. Where did I just go?
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way.
No.
Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. It did not matter how outnumbered the rebellion was. The secret Zenobia held would level the playing field. Codes, passwords. She could wreak havoc with just a few whispers to a far speaker.
Alright, let's see. I think I can craft the water sword. Alright, let's do it.
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdicles.
So disturbing, this game. Oh, who are you? I wonder if they add more enemies as we unlock more swords. You know, blow up? There we go. Oh great, suicidal bombers now. Fortunately, that's kind of the challenge of working on fan-made games. The King's Quest remake, they had to go through a lot of trouble to get the fan mod rights for that.
Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much. She said, shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lupino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lupino nagged Renato. about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her?
Alright, what do you guys think? Should we try and talk to her, or turn her over? That doesn't look too comforting right there. That's right, Ether is late for this one. Well, you miss us kind of destroying the entire universe. There you go. Once upon a time, we blew a hole in the universe and everybody died. The end. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Well, let's do it.
As they reached the ruins, Renato could see ravens everywhere, searching for the rebel base. They'd have to hide the Farfarer or go on foot. What if we get separated? Asked Lapino. For once, thinking ahead. I'll draw you a map to the base. Renato told Lapino. Renato, don't do this, said Zenobia. We were friends once. We... Shut it, witch, or I'll shackle your mouth too, said Lapino. And then, a few moments later, they touched down.
Until we get some good information out of this. How are you doing for time?
As Lapino pulled Zenobia off the Farfarer, Renato readied himself for the battle ahead. I'm sorry I nicked your jacket, she said. It's just... It's stupid, but... It smelled like you. What? He said, confused. Then... Why didn't you write? Why didn't you far speak? Oh, save the romantic nostalgia. Let's go!
Oh, man.
Lapino. So Renato launched himself down the path to the secret base.
I'm just following what you guys say.
Sometimes,
and it leads me to
Renato
trouble.
Really hated inanimate objects.
That's gotta be the main route. Let's see. I'm gonna go for this. I'm not sure. Okay, good. Treasure. Let me check once. Here's what I'm thinking. We could play this game for another 30 minutes and then maybe spend the last hour doing a quick Binding of Isaac run.
Really needed
Or we could spend the whole night playing stories. What do you guys think? Because I think it's probably going to take a good 40 minutes to an hour per story here. Alright. That's one vote. Yep. The truth. Can you handle the truth? Alright, what do we got? That's gotta be a fight right there. I can just feel it.
Okay. Let's make this quick. I'm on my strike in literally 2 minutes.
Wait, is this narrator from our world? Is a narrator like a cross-dimensional being? There's a lot of interesting questions in this game.
Bernardo wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Alright, now that I know we can open. Show me the treasure.
Boy, someone has spent a lot of money for a graduation present.
Yay, critical chance. In you go. Everybody likes crits. Hey. I was busy looting. Out of my way.
They caught their breath. It's beautiful, she said, looking at the ruins. This used to be the library of Ubar, he said, before your father's ravens smashed it. Do we have to talk politics? She asked. That's not how I want to remember you, she said with an odd, wistful look at her face.
What did you guys make me do?
She was as beautiful as she'd ever been. And as brave. Peppino huffed. They got back on the trail.
Oh. Ooh. More evil beholders. Ooh. Let's not get caught there.
Renato hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
They're getting more numerous, aren't they? Ooh. Wow, that did some damage.
See? With enough leverage, you could go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice little run here.
Long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base.
There's only a
Everything's on
fight
fire.
here.
So far, so good.
More of them. Oh. Ow. Oh. You have died. Oh, well, that's good. I wasn't too punishing of a death. Give me that shield. Oh yeah. I completely forgot about all my fancy powers. Whoa. What just blew up? Oh, suicidal guy. There we go. Now that's the right way.
What's behind? Door number 2.
Well, we're about to turn over our friend here to be tortured. And I'm sure there's going to be more end of the world stuff. It is a little bit on the repetitive side, I would say. It's got a good feel to it, but I'm not seeing a lot of... There doesn't seem to be a lot of mechanic growth. I doubt we'll do it in one stream. I think the game is too long with 21 stories, considering it takes about 40 minutes to an hour per story.
As they made their way to the secret rebel base, Renato felt strange. Zenobia was his prisoner, yet somehow she felt more like an old friend. He wanted to tell her all his secrets, but suddenly the ruins lit up with thousands of fireworks. There was a thunderous roar and dust rose. The caves were collapsing. The caves? You've been playing me? Renato said, and he stared at Zenobia. I'm sorry, she said, and she seemed almost embarrassed. Then everything went dark. When Renato came to, he had a terrible headache. Also, Zenobia's sword was at his throat, and her shackles were gone.
Did she kill Lupino?
So was Lupino. The terrible thing is, he said, I really have missed you. Now that we've destroyed the rebellion,
Oh, that's great.
would you consider becoming an advisor to the Emperor's daughter? I'm no one's servant. Everybody serves. Even if it's only destiny. I like to choose my own destinies, he said. The whole point of a destiny is you can't choose. Oh, never mind, she said. Look, if I see you again, I'll have to kill you. He watched her ship soar away. He would see her again, he decided. Even if he had to fight his way across the entire fleet.
Great. You guys killed Lupino. I hope you're happy. So this should be chapter 5?
The Imperial fleet was cleaning up the few rebel remnants. For only a moment, he thought about running.
Alright.
But heroes don't run, even when the world is against them. Even when their cause is hopeless, and their efforts futile, and pointless, and useless, and death painful and guaranteed.
Is that a new one?
He's decided to stop thinking for a while.
Alright, we're back here again, folks.
Impatient.
Alright, let's see. Get away from him. Oh, nice, it blew up the shield guy. Oh, we're back here again.
Oh, this really didn't have much in the way of safety features, did it?
Oh, you. You can see how they're unlocking more enemy variants as you replay the chapters, which isn't bad. But, again, there's no real growth as to what I'm doing. I think that's probably the story's one major detriment. It's got a very interesting hook with how the story grows. Yeah. I mean, mean, the new enemies are... They add a little bit to it, but... It's not making it all that much harder for someone like me.
Beautifully.
But the game has a lot of charm to it, which I think helps make it a lot easier to play.
Not yet tired of him. The rebels were losing.
I think we have a few of those Serious Sam games.
In some other universe, Renato thought, he and Zenobia had left sword fu school together, taken other names and sailed off into the mists. But not this Zenobia, and not him. For him, there was nothing to do but forge ahead, kill the Emperor, and end this.
Get away from him. What was that? Oh, that's my little flurry strike. There's also that Serious Sam the Random account, which is more of an RPG.
Renato wondered if his future son had commissioned these poles.
Alright, we should be, I think, one away. Oh, we're going this way now. Interesting. Fight. There we go. Ooh, new guy. He's still no match for me. Now there's the 2D one that had kind of like the gun system. You put guns on top of each other. I pulled you off. Oh, he needs to stop from buffing. Oh. I got an achievement, I think, for killing all the kinds of crows.
At last, he reached the Emperor's ship.
She's no Carmelita, I got it.
Was there. Why'd you have to come back?
An achievement there.
She said, guess I'm just serving my destiny. He shrugged. You don't even know what that word means. She said, do you ever wonder if things have been different all the time? She said, and drew her sword. In the end, Renato lay bleeding out on the deck. Zenobia sat by his side, upset. What are you so upset about? He asked. You wouldn't understand. Why?
I did speak to one of the developers at Crow Team when they were making the Talos Principle.
I guess I'll have to buy you a drink in the halls of the Valiant then, he told her. And then he was gone.
Oh. Thanks a lot, guys. You got me killed now.
Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure?
Yeah, this was like a few years ago.
Had he really died?
It would be on one of the podcasts on the on GameWisdom.com.
And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way.
Yay.
It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
Alright, 2 down, 2 to go. I'm assuming the true ending is the one that unlocks everything good. So if we didn't take her to the interrogators, we probably would have gotten another ending there. So that's 2 down. So there's gotta be something about Lupino. I mean, that's gotta be a clue, right?
But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won.
Well, Agoro
Right?
suggests having an Excel sheet.
Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion
There's
was
gotta
in
be a
trouble.
major
Ravens were
point.
scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renata
Okay,
knew
so that mark
using it
means
could
we
go
know what that choice
catastrophically
is,
wrong.
essentially.
But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient
That could
burial by
work.
his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Lupino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Alright. Because again, this is hinting like he is a part that Lupino has a story to tell. And again, the Idris Stone must involve that one path. Alright. We should have time for guarantee 1 more route, maybe 2 routes, but I think that's going to do it. So, what do you guys think? Should we try Lupino again? Or should we go for the Iblis Stone? Sorry, I've been saying that wrong. And then with all 4 of those things unlocked, must give us one specific path that takes us to, I guess, the game's real ending. Alright. Let's try Lupino again. Oh.
Ah, Lupino.
Do you guys want to see more of this on stream? Now, the embargo for Omen site lifts on the 15th. And then I'll be able to show, I could play the game on stream at that point. Alright, so let's see if we can do kind of a
Lupino
speed
had
run here.
apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty.
I should unlock the enhanced counter
Had
move.
everybody fled the Ravens?
Unlock super out. I wonder if the treasure chests become unlocked again. Or, I'm sorry, become locked again.
Don't be shy. People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks passed. Renato had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the Raven's call about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice.
Yeah, we know.
The village looked so peaceful.
Or you?
Were the villagers hiding somewhere? Of course not. No matter how much he searched, he would only find ravens here.
That increased run speed, though, is at least making it a little bit quicker.
Renato had a lot of crafting materials. Now all he needed was a crafting bench.
I should be able to craft either... Well, actually, I can craft the final sword now. Let's see. Alright, I know there's a crafting bench. Might as well do this before I forget. Oop. Oh. Not yet. I just want to see, does this treasure chest...
Behind that door. Renado's nose told him there was treasure there.
Let's see.
They must have forgotten it in a hurry. Surely they wouldn't mind if he helped.
Okay, so it does
After all,
turn back.
He wouldn't even know.
And now we got the level 2 version of that gem. So we had tier 3 now. Increases maximum stamina, increases sword energy, can throw, inflicts damage on hooks.
This was way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant. What was that all about anyway?
What? Wait, what? Did we miss something? This is weird. This is not the same path we went last time. If there's different, like, paths through each level, this game has earned a little bit more of my respect. And then I can hit 100. Oh, 90.
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack.
Yeah, we're at the graveyard already.
If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
Give me that shield. Goodbye. We should be right at Lupino. Maybe like one more fight. There he is.
Dirty and bloody, Renado finally reached
Alright, so
Lupino.
this time we will not
practicing his
go after
shuffle.
Zenobia.
Renado recognized. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And
that's the
sure
clue we know from
she had one for him.
uncovering the truth.
On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Alright, we know what we're doing this time.
To make the Sky Ripper, the Transcendent Emperor had wrapped an armature
So
around the
now,
eye of a
let's
god.
see if Lupino
Renado
adds
had already
anything
met
to
her.
this one. And we'll take it back to the secret base, I'm assuming. Instead of searching for those toad guys.
It's beautiful here, thought Renado. He was thrilled to be back with his old war buddy. He'd missed the mad rabbit, but something was not quite right.
Alright, let's see what we
There was
got
a
here.
pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
Oh, here's some more lore. I forgot there's lore too. fight. You. There we go. So eventually, even if you fail or have to repeat things, you'll just unlock all the skills.
His sword food teacher used to say power gems were cheating. Stupid fart.
Give me that. Whoa. Superpower, go. You know there is an achievement for getting a 100-hit combo. I just know with all the other achievements in this game. Left some fire on the ground there.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Ah, fire. It looked different for a second. I thought it was a different environment. I don't know if it is going for the lamp here, so.
Why don't you guys fight in groups? Oh, I know. Because there's no I in team.
Boo. I do wonder if there's any more enemy types I can unlock. Corner.
Hey, welcome to Earth. Renato told the corpses.
What?
It was something he'd seen in a play once.
This is getting very meta now. Sounds like a nice gem there.
Renato felt wrong all over. He could feel an almost palpable sickness in the air. And if the land could have tumors, they would look like these monstrous crystals. The forest was quieter than it had been.
Where's Lupina?
There were insects, a few birds, if you didn't count the ravens. Renato smelled sick animals and dying ones. No healthy ones. And getting a bad feeling about this, Renato thought. Maybe Lupina was right. Maybe they should have kidnapped Zenobia instead of coming here.
Wasn't too bad. Another fight, I bet.
Oh, good! And it didn't run for me nest, said the lead raven.
Okay. Wait, the ravens can talk this whole time? Goodbye. Not bad. We should be nearing the end, I think, of this level. There we go.
As he held the radiant icosahedron, Renato felt queasy, like dozens of tiny worms were nibbling his insides. It wasn't healthy to be so close to the eye of a god. How could he use it? He could take it to the observatory. The scientists there could tell him how to harness its ancient power. But honestly, Renato ached to get away from it. He brought the core back with him to the Farfarer. But honestly, Renato ached to be rid of it. Tell you what, said Lupino. I'll take it to the observatory. You attacked the Imperial outpost. The Imperial outpost was a vital communications node.
Alright, I think we know what we're going to
Taking
do.
it could shatter the Empire's ability to coordinate. And it would be full of secret plans and maps and maybe even rebel prisoners. It was a good target for a hero like Reynardo. But what if Lapino lost the core to the Empire? That could be a good thing, couldn't it? Was Reynardo ready to take that risk? Maybe it was better if he brought the core to the scientists himself.
Alright. Alright, so I'm thinking we let him handle the core. Alright, let's do it.
Trust me, Reynardo, you won't regret this. I'll treat the core like it was my own baby daughter. As
He
the Farfair
gets
died
radiant
towards the
and turns into
Nexus,
some super
Lapino was
rabbit.
jumping up and down with excitement. Stop rabbiting around, Reynardo said. Lapino just stared at him. The moment the ship landed, Lapino leapt off the ship.
Alright. Sure. Well, you've steered me right so far, right? Alright. Now, what are we doing?
As Lapino vanished into the wilds of the Nexus, Reynardo vaguely remembered Lapino had a baby daughter, didn't he? And he told her mother he was going out to get some Easter eggs, and he'd never come back. But Reynardo was relieved not to carry the core anymore. He was already feeling better. And who knows, maybe this time Lapino would get it right. And if Reynardo could take the outpost, he'd have access to all the Empire's communications in this sector. Right?
Yeah, this will go well.
There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
What? I'll take all that. I should be able to afford the new sword very soon. Kick and throw distance will increase. Let's see, what's final tier? Well, that will certainly be helpful.
Haven't you always wanted to do that?
Super instant kill powers sound really nice to me. Okay, should be activating. Hey. Heal me. Yep. That's what I'm also thinking.
Reynardo caught his breath. His joints still hurt, but he couldn't feel the poison in his system anymore. He'd let the armature slip out of his hands to save his friend Lapino. Of course he had to let Lapino take the core. The rebellion needed every man doing his duty. And the rabbit would be no good taking on an Imperial outpost, right? Reynardo had rescued Lapino because he was an old friend. And then he'd sent him off with the poisonous core. And he'd probably bungled the mission, too. What had he been thinking? That he'd have a romp in the Imperial outpost?
I am definitely going to take that. So close. I'm betting if we didn't let him take the core, we would be killed by it and still discover some kind of secret. Oh, missed it. Nice.
Renato took the outpost with a song in his heart. Soon, he was stuffing his sack with key messages from and to the fleet. Then the far speaker toad chortled a new message. The observatory had been sacked by ravens. Lapino and all the scientists had been taken to the mountains. Why? Why had he trusted Lapino again? And now the Empire had the core. Renato hailed the rebel base to warn them. But their far speaker didn't crouch back. Was the base under attack too?
I wonder if the color denotes the story as well. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Who knew what was going on at the base?
Oh.
But he knew what the ravens would do to Lapino if Renato didn't rescue him fast. What are old friends for, if not to need rescuing every few days?
It's looking like to get all the truths, you really don't have to go too far out of your way, just common sense. But if you're going to go for 100% in a game like this, you do have to plan things out.
Renato felt a twinge of doubt. Should he have gone to the base? No. Logically, wherever they'd taken Lapino was probably where they took the core, right? Oh, why couldn't Lapino have just, for once, not got himself captured? Was that too much to ask? He shouldn't be too hard on the rabbit. No, he meant well, and he was insanely brave. You had to admire that.
Okay, that's enough ore. I just need one more core.
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat had got his start making floating platforms. Not many people knew that.
So they've been buffed.
Holding Lapino anyway. There was no sign of him or the ravens who'd captured him. Just rocks and snow and the usual scouts. No sign of the core either. Was this a wild rabbit chase? Oh, trust Lapino to screw up even getting captured.
Yeah, there.
But what was this rebellion for anyway? Lapino was a useless goof. But he was a friend. If friends didn't matter anymore, what was the point of winning this war?
There we go. Alright, what's going on to Lapino?
Once you try it, you're hooked.
Aww. That chest is still escaping my grasp. Shield. Yeah, we definitely want to get that one-hit kill power.
Could be the new aerobics craze. Am I right?
Sure, why not? Alright, where are we going here? Oh, Lupino, what have you done?
Whee!
That is good. Is he listening to me while I'm talking? This is getting creepy, folks. I thought I could light that with a fire sword. Oop. Oh, wrong one. Ah, I see.
Ice walls only let you through if they knew you were cool.
Where does he hold all his wonderful swords? These little cutaways remind me like of Crash Bandicoot almost. There's not another game in this series, right? Like, it goes from this to Omenstream. There's a lot of stuff here that seems to be, like, referenced from, like, another story. Should be about done. Oh, I thought, wait a minute, I got him. Aw. Wait, so what's the first game? Oh wait, sorry, I misread. Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing some of these graphical effects. So they are making things harder by buffing the guys.
Can't be dying, he thought. I'm the hero.
Yeah. Maybe the water sword will help here. Oh, the water sword's a... Wow. I did not expect it to be a one-hit kill. Double the treasure.
Or I could go that way, he thought.
I'll take this. Got achievement Bling Master. Alright, now we're back on the right path.
Renato thought of the choices he had made so far. Rescuing a friend and then sending him to be captured. Recovering a super weapon and letting it fall into enemy hands. Risking an assault on an enemy base for military secrets. And then failing to deliver them to the rebellion. Well, he was alive, at least.
Uh-oh.
At the end of the mountain path, Renato
What did
came to a
Lupino
clearing.
do?
It was a campfire. Raven feathers and... oh, Lupino's lucky deck of cards. Well, that wasn't good. Renato hoped Lupino would not try to cheat his captors at cards. Ravens were much better than weasels at counting, and they had a very poor sense of humor. Then, he saw what he had hoped never to see. Fresh scraps of rabbit fur. Ragged and bloody, ravens would eat anything.
By Grabthar's hammer!
Renato screamed at the sky.
I will
The rebels had assembled their fleet. Ahead, clouds were dark with Imperial ships. If he could reach the Emperor before the rest of the rebels did, maybe he could settle this without too much bloodshed. He set sail, and the Farfarer shot forward.
Oh, Lupino. Jeez, everybody dies in this game.
Poor Lupino had never been a great warrior. The Mad Rabbit was good for a lark and a laugh. And a pint. The thought of ravens eating him made Reynardo furious. The way they were eating up the land. The way the Emperor was eating up the people with his new, bloodthirsty ways. He would make them all pay.
Alright, there's our new sword. So now we have access to any doors.
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
For Lupino. Just in time. Alright. I'm going for a little bit of health, just to try a buffer. Fight? Huh? You don't think we can hitch a ride, right? Better, because there doesn't seem to be another way out. Ah. Oh, good.
Yeah. Hoped his hook didn't break.
Alright, let's see what we got.
He had given up every objective to save his friend. He had given up the armature, the core, the gem, and even Zenobia. He loved
See, we all love
Lupino, he
Lupino.
realized. Now the rabbit was gone. A hero looks out for his friends, even when they're gone. He would send Lupino an honor guard of ravens to serve him in the halls of the Valiant. He would avenge him.
Lupino turns out to be the guy responsible for all of it, right? Oh, he's got an achievement. Is it a sword? Is it a key?
This is quite the view.
Hit the wrong guy there. So lifesteal. Can't hit me.
He was getting nowhere. Fast.
Alright, we should be almost there. Still surprised that there aren't boss fights in this game. Like something to mix up the combat. Like, just like another system, I think, would help out. Because again, the combat's not bad, but there's just not a lot here. Ow. How dare you break my combo? This should be the last one. Yep.
Finally, he reached the Emperor's ship.
Oh, yep.
And there was Lapino, surrounded by ravens. He was alive. They'd eaten some other rabbit.
Yay.
I'll save you! He shouted with joy and flung himself at the ravens. Oh, you shouldn't have, said Lapino when the last raven was down. Renato threw his arms around his best friend. I had to come. I love you, man. You really, really shouldn't have, said
Oh,
Lapino.
you son of a bitch.
And Renato felt a rather sharp pain in his back. As he collapsed, Lapino took the dagger out of Renato's back and wiped it off on Renato's sleeve. Why? You always have to be the hero.
Who took the bet
Renato.
that Lapino was a bad guy?
Super sexy Renato. And I'm sick of it. But
Wait, who called him
I
super
love you.
sexy?
And you thought I was the idiot, said Lapino as Renato died. And just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the mad rabbit.
And you
But
guys
now he
wanted me to
knew
trust
there was
Lapino.
malice behind his goofiness.
Man, there must have been a lot of dialogue recorded for this game. Alright, so now I have the power to get the instant kill move.
But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the Path of Destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in
we know what we're
trouble.
going to choose this
Ravens
time,
were
and I think this
scouting
will
for the
probably be
secret
our
rebel base.
last run for the
They
evening.
needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty
I can't
desert.
fast
The
forward
Emperor
when they're
had
giving
brought
me
the Sky Ripper
choices.
pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Now, here's one thing I'm curious about. This path right here. Is this part of the death one? Or is this like a path separate? Yep, here we go.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches
Wait,
and ostrich hunters.
there's ostrich
The
hunters
Iblis
there?
stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Renato went ostrich hunting.
Alright. Now I really want to level up and get that one-hit kill move.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but
Alright.
ancient codices.
Yeah, it's about 12:30 my time, so we probably have time, I think, to get through one more path.
Blood. A jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals? Renato had heard stories of a dungeon where chests were filled with potions and weapons. Fairy tales.
How about mimics?
The air here tasted bitter. The steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
What we got? Goodbye. Go. And you're dead.
Hey! Wanna hook up? The ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Nice background. Alright, so... I still need 2 more levels before we unlock the instant kill. Buffers. Just like with Batman, it's a little weird when you have multiple guys like countering you at the same time.
Smells burnt fur. Yes. Renato had been in boat crashes that were more fun.
Treasure over here. At this point, I don't really need, I guess, upgrade the swords anymore, but maybe it'll be for achievement purposes. Oh. Oh, good. That seems like a good sign.
A road less traveled. This could be fun. If it wasn't fatal, that is.
I'm surprised there's not more with the hook shot. Like puzzles or things you could do with it. Huh.
I'm just trying to teach you how to fly.
Oh yeah. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I got an achievement. Boom to your doom. There must be a lot of achievements in this game. I'll hit you. That
was in a swirl of newly remembered knowledge. Needed to focus.
Alright, so one more level and then we get the good stuff. What kind of rare loot is in a game like this? Speed increases even further. Also frees all our enemies. Okay. Sounds like we do all that much in terms of damage.
Running out of ideas. Zenobia loved him to death. The Sky Ripper destroyed everything. And Lapino was a filthy traitor.
Nice. More details that we wouldn't know about if we went here first or second.
Unwise. But what else was there?
Alright. I'm sure this will end well.
Maybe I should follow my nose, thought Bernardo.
Wasn't too bad. Nice. Not sure the gems are randomly placed, or if they are set to those chests. Get away. Hello. Aha.
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Oh boy. So we're going down there.
These platforms are great. Renato wanted one for his house.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting any new enemy types. I'm assuming we're about at the end of this chapter. One more fight? Or not.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "Not the core," said the stone anxiously.
I guess we're gonna go. Let's see. Well, let's follow the stone then, because I think that's the path.
Why was he listening to a talking rock? Ah, but the rock had a point. If the stone could truly turn him into a powerful warrior, he could defeat the Emperor with the very weapon the wicked old Toad had sought for himself. To be a hero, you had to sacrifice old friends sometimes.
Where's Child?
Especially when they
He would be
enemies.
enjoying this. Alright, we'll try and speed through this just so we can get to the end. And then we'll wrap it up after this. And then maybe we can spend half a stream finishing the story. Alright.
As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Bernardo had a sudden vision. Charred fields
That doesn't sound
covered in
good.
dead ravens below a black sun.
Charming.
The time of the lost gods before the transcendent emperor.
I'm glowing purple. That's not a good sign.
It whispered.
Man, this really is like Shinobi.
He could feel the stone's hunger for souls, its thirst for blood.
All right, I get it.
This was going to be interesting.
Oh boy. Alright. I'm gonna try and run through this as quickly as possible.
This was the nice part of town, but the ravens had been through here. They like to take shiny things home to their nests.
So the question is, does it actually do anything to me? Oh, it's giving me health back.
The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Bernardo. They
Nice.
screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And
This is
with
a
each
very
death,
nice and
he felt
family-friendly
stronger.
game.
Take the power, the stone told him.
How could you convince a firewall you're its friend?
Is that a riddle? Ah. Ow. It burns. I think we've chosen the darkest timeline here, folks. If that ominous music isn't a clue either.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
Sewer shortcut. Maybe he'll want him next. Oh, I can't grab them.
Hey, how do you tell if someone's far away or just really small?
How do we get that? Maybe there's a hidden switch? And kill Lupino. Yep. Let's see.
Zenobia was waiting for Renato. She was alone, confident as always.
Oh, God.
Fire danced at the tips of her claws.
Are you here to surrender? She seemed as cocksure as he felt. But she didn't know he had the stone.
Oh,
And
boy.
I've missed you too, love. He chuckled.
Now we're
She
sounding
spotted the stone
evil.
and bolted without another word.
Yeah, that was mean.
Where was a workbench when you needed one? Oh, never mind.
You can't stop me. I'll swallow your soul.
The rock felt hot in his hand. He could feel its secret power.
Who needs to die now? Now that I think of it, I should really be using the water power for quicker kills. Oh, jeez, we're getting eviler by the second here. should be it. Let's see.
Finally, Renato caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. "Kill her," whispered the stone. "You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please." "No," said Zenobia. "Not that way." Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Well, I think we know what we're going to choose here. Goodbye, Zenobia.
With a flick of his wrist, he slashed Zenobia's throat. Her eyes widened even more. And then the light went out of them.
Man.
Renato felt amazing. Power was rushing into him like water from a burst dam. Oh, such
Yeah, that's not a bad sign.
exulted the Iblis stone.
Sorry, checking the time.
He felt a bit bad about killing her. He was pretty sure she still loved him. But needs must when the devil drives. Renato returned to the Farfarer and set a course for the Nexus. The Empire had a communication outpost there. He could call the Emperor directly. It was time to seize the outpost and let the Emperor know what
I haven't seen
done.
the Emperor yet this entire game. Alright, so 2 more chapters. We'll see about speeding through this, but we should be done probably the next 15 minutes, I think. At least at this rate that we're going. Oh, yeah. I'll try and rush through this
The
as quickly as
Nexus was
can.
beautiful. He'd never realized how beautiful. Everything glowed. The wind was so sweet. The sun so soft. The stones so warm. Black raven feathers. Black feathers. Suddenly, his eyes are filled with them. He's falling through smoke under a dead sun. A voice calls him home. Is this a vision?
Oh, this is a good sign.
Whose? Is this the time of the lost gods? Or the future?
Damn.
No matter. What mattered now was killing his way to the Imperial outpost and challenging the Emperor from there. The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted.
Good to know. Alright, no one's gonna stop us now.
Chill out.
And this is the most disturbing Disney anime movie I've ever seen. Hit the wrong button. Okay, so the sword normally slows him down. And then with the special, that's what kills him. Disney should totally adapt this for a movie. Oh, maybe this could be a Kingdom Hearts world.
What was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
Yeah, pretty much.
Up ahead was
Uh-oh.
Volcano. What was he doing here? Bernardo! Hey, buddy! Hey there, old buddy! Please don't kill me!
Really?
Why would I kill you? Asked Bernardo, although he had been thinking about it. Well, you've become... no, I mean, no disrespect at all here. Kind of evil? Maybe you should, I don't know,
Go to the mountains to have a think? See if maybe you're sure the stone is not all that healthy a thing to keep? I suppose you wanted, Renato said, and poked Lapino in the chest for emphasis. Oh, did he just kill Lapino? Oh, damn it.
Oh, it gives me a Lupino soul now.
It was a bit windy up here.
This is gonna be the ending where we kill everyone. I hope everyone realizes this. Alright, let's see. Can I upgrade the sword? I want to save it for the water sword if possible. Little water power. Alright.
Renato rampaged to the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo rampaging. At the last moment, he remembered not to kill the Farspeaker Toad. After all, he wanted a word with the Emperor. But there was only silence. The Emperor was scared, like little girl. Well, he would gather the rebel army and slaughter the Imperial fleet. Yes! Applauded the Iblistone. Tremendous. Then the Emperor would have to answer his Farspeaker, wouldn't he? Who are you? Asked a distant voice that sounded uncomfortably like Zenobia. What have you become? The mountains. Go to the mountains, urged another that sounded a bit like Lapino.
Alright. Go Team Evil.
Renato called the rebel council to let them know to gather their forces. Then he killed the Farspeaker Toad. Why? Oh, because to make sure his sword was sharp. Oh no, that's awful. So no one else could use it. Yes, that's it. Then he set off for the ruins and the secret rebel base.
Take that, morality choices. We don't need you in this game.
The ruins were crawling with ravens. Probably looking for the secret base, Renato thought. But then
Music's getting more ominous too, if anyone hasn't noticed.
They must be very scared of me. Well, here I am.
Oh boy.
You honest warrior. Whispered the Iblistone. And he had to agree with it, for once. Who was as good as Renato?
Oh boy. Alright, let's push.
It would be fun to try out that one. And here was a handy workbench.
I don't think we're going to get the instant kill attack by the end of the stream. Now the way we're on experience.
The stone.
Oh, that's guy.
Best friend he'd ever had. Really? Who would bury such a treasure in the desert? Soon, he'd go rally the rebellion and usher a new age for the islands of Erda.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, we can't go that way.
Urged the stone. Let it make you. Come to think of it, Renato thought as he pushed down another raven. Why shouldn't I be emperor? How did anybody get to be emperor anyway? By making war. Not counting the transcendent emperor, obviously, who had banished the lost gods when he started time. Yes, he should be emperor. He would make a great emperor. Right, Stone?
Yeah, we're all the way evil now, aren't we?
What could he craft with the materials he had? Renato had a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah, there. I keep getting combat achievements, I have no idea what they're actually for. It's you guys again.
And this is why heroes are called dashing, Renato thought. See? Dashing? Get it?
This should be the last part. Just this one fight. Oh, hey. Oh, there you hit me. Yeah, I'm getting pissed off here.
Renato danced around the room yelling,
Oh yeah, that's how we do it.
it was something he liked to do, but only after he'd killed all the witnesses.
Nice. See, evil is more fun than being good. There's the moral of the story for tonight's stream. Alright.
Renato strode into the council.
One last chapter, folks, and then
Let's do
we
this
are
thing.
done.
Let's make me
At least for
emperor.
this evening.
They looked confused and nervous. Had he mentioned the emperor thing? Yeah, he meant to bring that up later. I mean, let's go win this rebellion. He
Yeah.
waved his sword around encouragingly. They ran.
Oh,
Cowards.
jeez.
He'd stop them. He cut down a few to inspire the others. But soon, there was no one to cut down. Well then, he'd have to attack the fleet alone. More for me, he said. Unless it was the stone that said it. Traitors. Traitors, all of them. They'd run rather than following him, rather than
Our narrator is
hearing
getting
him.
very mean.
What should he do to the cowards? Anything he wanted to. After all, he was a true hero, the best warrior there ever was. No one could stop him now. But first, finish him. The Emperor, that is.
Okay, then. Alright, here we
Where was
go.
the rebel fleet? They weren't even
Killing
trying
time.
an assault.
Nice.
They were going to miss a day in history. The downfall of this dynasty, and a new one to take its place. He
That's
didn't have
it.
to kill all the ravens. He could enslave them.
This is getting
And
very
enslave the toads, too.
disturbing.
All the animals would worship him as a god. For he had once been a god. They would willingly give him their blood and their souls. And the world
Oh wait, we do
would
get at least one
change,
chance.
would become familiar again.
Oh, good.
Where did that go to?
Alright, we shall see if we get enough for the kill. There we go. Oh, that will speed up combat quite nicely. Let's do it. Sometimes a little hard to see the tell there, yeah. Let's do this.
Imagine if you built a house on one of these things. Oh, that would be amazing. It would be like having a boat.
That. There we go.
Renato was glowing with dark power.
Alright, let's do this.
He could do anything, he realized. He could wrap the island safely in smoke again. He was beyond a hero.
Right,
he was going to become a god again.
Forgot.
How odd, he thought, that the Iblis Stone had nothing to say about any of this. Well, no matter. Once he killed this petty Toad Emperor, he would bring back the Black Sun.
That sounds nice. Nothing bad about that, right? I thought I got him. Damn. Just when the combo's about to proc. Get away, shield. We don't need you.
That is how we do it, said Renato to himself.
Alright, probably I think 1 or 2 more fights and we should be good. No time to wait for cannon fire. Oh, Lupino. If only you would have been our friend. Alright, this should be it.
I'll just have a dash, thought Renato.
Okay, last fight. We're kill activate. That certainly made combat fast. Alright. Let's see this big reveal.
He found the Emperor and the Council huddling by his ship, plotting. They saw him and cowered before him.
Back to hell, fiend.
Croaked the Emperor desperately.
In the name of the Transcendent Emperor,
Croaked the speaker. They held some arcane items he didn't recognize. He simply flexed his will and sucked their souls out of their bodies. And Iblis exulted. It is finished. And the void that had been a mere stone on a sword expanded, stretched and ripped like a vast womb. And a gaze black and pitiless as the sun passed through the void into the land.
Oh, we just killed everybody again, folks.
So time ended.
Good to know.
Oh, damn it. He lost again and died. But there was Burning Ubar behind him. He still had all his destinies ahead of him. But he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Alright, we did it. So what does that mean?
He knew enough now, he thought. All these truths tumbling around each other in his head. There must be a way to puzzle the pieces together. If he used everything he knew, he could discover a new path to destiny. The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again, faster than before, and he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas.
We're not going to do this again, folks. I just want to see if anything else pops up.
The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically
What I'm
wrong.
thinking is that the way to the
He was
true
sure he could
ending
figure
must
out
be a
how to
very
use it
specific
safely.
path.
Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend
hello.
Lupino needed rescuing. Of course. Renato had
I think that's a pretty
strong
big indicator
suspicion
that we need to do
Lupino had
that.
betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
Oh, maybe we give him the stone. Okay, then. So now we have to go the exact path that will unlock the game's true ending. Yeah. How long have we been going? Yeah, we're almost at 3 hours in. I think that's more than enough time to wrap it up for the evening. So, Saturday night I'll be doing the grab bag stream. Sunday we'll do a classic gameplay, and then maybe we'll return to this Monday. We'll see where things go, because at this point we probably have about an hour, if it's what I think it is, just to see the true ending of the game. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Once again, this has been Stories, the Path of Destinies. And be sure to look forward to my video on Omen's site, going up probably Saturday afternoon. So, have a great night, folks. For those of you new, I usually do my streaming probably around, we're thinking about moving to like 9 to 9:30 EST, but I will see you all next stream, and be sure to check for daily discussions on game design here, and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. So, have a great night, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all for the grab bag.